Oscar Piastri, the home favourite, has hit the wall. He said he's okay, but extraordinarily, we've already lost a McLaren from this race. Over the curb, off the curb, into the wall, out of the Grand Prix. Absolutely extraordinary.
And if you're ready, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to Formula One's new voyage, new era. Time to set sail around the world for 24 rounds, starting here in Australia for the opening race of the season, the 30th anniversary of the first World Championship Grand Prix to take place here in Albert Park, a 3.28-mile circuit. No DRS zones this year, replaced by straight line mode, active aero to help the cars maintain the speed. Overtake and an extra electrical boost will replace DRS for this year. We've still got 14 corners. We've still got a very, very tricky street circuit. And the tyres are narrower. Same compounds as last year, though. C5, C4, C3. The cars are smaller. They are more nimble. They are more alive. And we have 500,000 people flocking to the racetrack this weekend here in Albert Park, and a sellout crowd today waiting to get things underway.
Formula One in 2026 begins when the 5 red lights go out. The new season is underway. They crawl off the line. And Hadjar's going to have an unbelievable chance to go from third to first, but he didn't get a good launch, and Charles Leclerc's to the inside. He's done it! What a start for the Ferraris! Charles Leclerc goes through. He climbs 3 positions and takes the lead from 4th on the grid. Charles Leclerc, George Russell, then Isaac Hadjar are your top 3. There was so much wheel spin for those on the front row. Kimi Antonelli is already down, and what an absolutely superb getaway for Arvid Lindblad, who's into 4th. Charles Leclerc, then George Russell, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hamilton, your top 5.
They teased it in winter testing, they delivered it here in Bahrain, and he has bolted. He has absolutely bolted away at the front here, and this now is not on the script for Mercedes.
Leclerc's initial getaway wasn't actually as outstanding as we expected. Hamilton was almost coming through for the lead as well.
Early battling. You've got Pierre Gasly putting the pressure on Esteban Ocon. These two started together. Been a really around the outside. That is very, very close there between the two Red Bull stable drivers. Hamilton's got a good launch off that corner, about to go wheel to wheel. Are we about to go 3 wide? Lindblad about to go 3 wide. Lindblad finds himself getting through. Lindblad to 3rd, Hamilton to 4th, and Hadjar down to 5th.
Unbelievable, Arvid Lindblad.
Hamilton then gets up to 3rd. Frenetic opening lap in Albert Park.
Advantage Ferrari on that start.
Can he come back immediately? Yes, he does. Hadjar gets back immediately. So where you deploy the power is everything. It's pass and repass. That Mercedes is a rocket ship. Charles Leclerc will try and hang on to it. He's a former winner around here in the past. Now let's go bottom left with Max Verstappen, who's passing Valtteri Bottas in the Cadillac, and he takes the position. Out front, George Russell sweeps by, and the Mercedes man reclaims the lead on lap 2.
There's a big closing speed coming.
If you see the flashing lights of the car ahead, means it's slowing down, and Charles Leclerc is going to try and go all the way around the outside to retake the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. In the background, Kimi Antonelli is up to 4th. George Russell is up to the lead. Not quite. He's putting all of the pressure on. Charles Leclerc prepared to be brave. He doesn't care how quick the Mercedes is. He's going to cling on to the lead with his fingertips.
How does the car perform in race trim, in dirty air, with tailwinds as we've got into turn 1 on this day in history? So there'll be a process of finding. Here's the extra power from Russell.
He inches ahead, side by side. How much can Leclerc fight it? Not enough to hang on to it. George Russell retakes the lead again.
Keep an eye on that rear wing. That red light flashing tells us that he's no longer in full deployment, and that allows Charles Leclerc to take the dirty line all the way around. So it is this wonderful game of cat and mouse.
Ferrari back to P1. Tell you what, Charles Leclerc is playing his cards wonderfully right now.
New overtaking spot.
Russell locks up, doesn't need that, does make the corner, hangs on to it, and immediately back. Pass, repass, and now a 3-way battle for the lead. Charles Leclerc takes it back from Russell, and he's looking to the inside. Russell can't get by for long enough. He can take track position, but he can't hold it. And now joining the battle, the 7-time champion of the world, Lewis Hamilton. Problem for Isaac Hadjar, dropping down the order. The man who had his best ever day in Formula One qualifying yesterday is out of the Grand Prix on lap 11.
Come on! That's broken everything.
Hadjar.
He's lost drive at that point. It's gone into like a hydraulic failure, thrown it into neutral.
George Russell in, Kimi Antonelli in. They took the opportunity.
Ferrari stayed out. They're going to get their cars into a little bit of clear air here.
At least one of us should have come in.
Our fourth retirement of the Australian Grand Prix is Fernando Alonso. Old friends reunited. Lawson, Perez, trying to get by in the Racing Bulls, trying to go around the outside of the Cadillac, and no driver in Formula One is going to allow you to do that.
Well, look, I was questioning whether Checo would be a bit rusty, but he's not showing any lack of fight.
Bottas comes to a stop. We were watching Checo with the other Cadillac. Lawson did get by into turn 11, and then we cut to Valtteri Bottas. The 10-time Grand Prix winner is out of the Grand Prix. This flat-out section closing in. Still has access to overtake mode if he needs it. Can he go around the outside? Great defence on the restart for Arvid Lindblad, but it's about to end. Sweeping by, taking the position, Max Verstappen back up to P6. Down to turn 3, there's a few laps ago. Pierre Gasly late on the brakes, trying to get past his old foe, Esteban Ocon. Bang through.
We will find out in the remaining laps whether this is a strategic error or it works brilliantly for him. But armed with the information we have now, this is very peculiar.
On board with Lewis Hamilton, this flat-out section. George Russell looking to the inside and not being given away by until now. George Russell has had to wait his turn. George Russell back into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. So into the pits comes Lewis Hamilton. It's Russell, Antonelli, Hamilton and Leclerc, but Leclerc will go through and he claims his spot on the podium. We've seen a bit of wheel banging with at least 4 cars in the field. The barge board has come off. It is indeed. And there is the barge board of the Cadillac being thrown from the car. And here's Gabriel Bortoleto. In his second season of Formula One, he's able to get past Esteban Ocon. These three have been battling lap after lap after lap. Further up the order, this is the battle between Oliver Behrman and Arvid Lindblad. And Oliver Behrman, whoa, that was a late chop. Behrman saw it coming. Behrman takes the place.
Well, Lindblad is definitely not shy of, well, being, let's say, aggressively defensive. He's coming back.
He uses the boost to get by, but you can't use too much of your battery power without paying for it badly on the flat-out run from 6 to turn 9, and it wasn't enough, and through goes Oliver Behrman. And the swapping continues. Ocon was at the head of this battle, then it was Gasly, now it is Gabriel Bortoleto. The pre-season favourite begins with a win. George Russell wins the Australian Grand Prix. It's a Mercedes 1-2 in a season opener for the first time since 2019, but they do seem to have a battle on their hands with Ferrari, who have led laps today, and they are separated across the line. Charles Leclerc completing the podium, Lewis Hamilton only 0.6 of a second behind. Charles Leclerc fought lap after lap, but when the German team hit the front, they stayed there. A brilliantly executed race once they had clear air for the championship favourite team and driver.